Happy Hispanic Heritage Month, everybody. This is the Slider Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Dora the Explorer. So I decided to do something a little bit different and give a shout out to one of the most iconic Latinos on television, who's an international star, who has taught many kids, and people from all ages have seen her at some point in time, from that of a kid to a teenager to whatever the heck she was in that one movie, I guess, a teenager as well. And that is Dora the Explorer, who's not even a real person, but a fictional person. But everybody knows who Dora the Explorer is. And well, even though Dora the Explorer was way after my time as I became like an adult, and I never really watched it, but when I had to babysit, Lord have mercy, those kids wanted to watch this one movie over and over and over again. It's the one where she becomes a princess and she has to defeat that witch and everything like that. Everybody knows how she breaks the fourth wall. Everybody knows the little bob hairstyle she has, how she has backpack, how Swiper isn't supposed to swipe, and like flashlight and all those other little inanimate objects that are like real, and those animals that can talk. And let's not forget about Boots. And television is a great way to teach people stuff. It's a great way to get inside a person's psyche. And with this show, it started at a very young age, because you got to hear the Spanish language spoken on this show. Not all the time, but every once in a while. And when she wasn't speaking Spanish to people, she was like helping them understand certain things to help them navigate through their life and schoolwork and stuff like that. She went on multiple adventures and stuff. And she's just a cartoon character. And her show is so famous. It lasted for 8 seasons. And it lasted from a total of 19 years, taking a few gaps here and there. In 2005, 6, and 7, she wasn't on the air. But, and the original pilot was in 1999. The first show came out in 2000. The last show in 2019. It had a spin-off series and everything. Go Diego Go was a spin-off series of her cousin Diego, and it lasted from 2005 to 2011. And basically he was like an animal rescue type person, and it was very well received for like a lot of kids. And when it comes to his show and her show, but mainly her show, it gave a person of color their own show, and the person was voiced by that same type of representation. That is very rare to see in American audience TV and stuff. And because it's mostly predominantly white world, and when you have Latin shows, they're mostly from Latin countries. Before it to be depicted in America and it has such a huge fan base that's international, is really breaking barriers and stuff. Too bad it couldn't be live action, but hey, you gotta sometimes settle for what you gotta settle for and everything. And Dora, even though I never really watched that many episodes other than from like babysitting little kids, she was an adventurer and everything. And it's like, not a lot of people can honestly say that this isn't like true representation and something that broke barriers and stuff. I mean, yeah, it is a kid's cartoon. That's the only sucky thing about it. But like I said before, you gotta take what you can take sometimes. And they depicted her originally as a Latino person. She had some weight on her. She was not skinny, because a lot of Latino women are a little bit more on the thick side and everything. They could have went for the stereotypical skinny route, but they did not. And that caused an upstir when they later depicted her as a skinny person for her teenage show and that live action movie. They went away from what made her her, and they started stripping her down to what more of a general audience will want to see. That was their biggest downfall, in my opinion. The movie never got a sequel. I didn't even finish the movie. Like, I tried to watch it, and I'll get into that a little bit later when it comes to the movie. But, like, it's sad because it's kind of like here you have this person with a more traditional shaped body of this one culture, and people could see themselves in her. And then they decide, okay, let's just make her skinny. And it's like, why? Why take that from her, And there have been many voice actresses to voice her over the years. I'm gonna say her name wrong. So the original one was Kathleen Halez, and she voiced her for 7 years from 2000 to 2007. Caitlin Sanchez voiced her from 2008 to 2012. I can't pronounce her name. Famia, I can't even begin to say her last name. From 2012 to 2019. However, something interesting happened. At some point in time, while the original show was still going on, they decided to make a sequel series where Dora is now a 10-year-old girl and she moved to like the big city from that of the rainforest. And what's interesting about this, it was called Dora and Her Friends Into the City. And the first season, it basically just showed her as like a preteen kid girl with a bunch of other girls around her age. They changed her appearance. They made her very skinny, gave her longer hair, and changed up her outfit. A lot of people were outraged by this because they felt some of the representation that Dora originally had by being a thicker girl was taken away from them and stuff. And she fit more of the American mold and everything. And by the second season, they started to bring back some of her friends from the rainforest, like Boots and all that. Still speaking Spanish in the show, but I'm not sure exactly how much. I'm not sure how people felt about this show. It only lasted for 2 seasons from the years of 2014 to 2017. So it must not have been that well received, but mostly it was a cash grab to sell like toys and merch and stuff like that. A bunch of DVD releases came from the show. You can actually find this show and the original show on Paramount Plus. One thing you won't find on Paramount Plus, however, is the live action movie. Oh, also that Famia girl, she was also the voice of Dora in this. In spring of 2024 next year, there is supposed to be a new CGI Dora the Explorer that takes her back to her roots, her old design, and her old outfit. And I have no idea if this is still being made. There's no word on the voice cast or anything like that. So it's supposed to appear on Paramount Plus. Dora in the Lost City of Gold. This was Dora's first movie. I've always said, even though I don't watch Dora, I want her to have a live action movie. Kids would have ate that up. And I thought to myself, man, you can go like so big with like the fantasy of like the rainforest and like, the CGI and this and that. Because, I remember when I watched like Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie, they filmed in Puerto Rico. Such a beautiful setting and everything, pretending like it was the rainforest of the Caribbean and stuff. I tried to watch this movie. I couldn't even get into it, and it's weird because it's more mature. From what I heard, it is different from that of the cartoon. First of all, Dora is played by Isabella Moner, and she's an adult woman playing a teenage girl. She's like a young adult. She's dressed like Dora the Explorer, but she's really tall and very slim, which is opposed to how Dora is. Now, she still has the bob hair. And the thing about this is that when it started off and I started watching, I'm like, oh, it's just like the cartoon. She's running around the jungle. I think she's in like some kind of car or something like that. She's singing the song and, she's talking about, come on, boots and all this other stuff, right? But then that turned out, and it's like a little girl doing it and everything. And the little girl looked a lot like Dora the Explorer, but she wasn't chubby. She was still skinny. But then that turned out to be a dream sequence and everything. And then that's when everything got weird. Boots is really just like kind of like the family pet. They do like I think they're like doctors or something like that, veterinarians or something like that. They do and so it's kind of weird. And she just wants to be an explorer. She goes to high school. She brings all her explorer stuff, a knife. It's very much a family-oriented movie and very much a comedy. I remember from seeing the trailer, the family's all front and center helping her out, which is odd and bizarre because she normally does things solo with Boots. Boots, I think I heard somebody say he does talk in this, but he's played by somebody whose voice who doesn't sound like Boots. He's voiced by Danny Trejo, and I don't know if they changed his voice for the movie to sound more like Boots, or they just kept his regular gravelly voice and everything. It's weird. It's a bizarre movie, and I just could not get into it. They want to make Paramount Plus wants to make another live action series based somewhere off this, but they're gonna have to recast and it's gonna be different. But that was talks back in 2022, so who knows, I don't know. I want to watch it just to see what it's about, but I should never have stopped because I had this one app that had it on there and everything, a streaming app. But you would think Paramount Plus would have it, but they don't. Paramount Plus is bizarre. They don't have a lot of their older CBS or even Nickelodeon shows on the platform. They have a lot of MTV stuff, a lot of Showtime, so you gotta pay extra for Showtime, and of course their Paramount Plus stuff. You'd think they would have more CBS stuff on there because, hey, it's Paramount Plus, and it used to be CBS All Access. Now, when there was CBS All Access, they had more like CBS content, but now they just simply don't. And yeah, I just wanted to give like a shout out to like one of like the most famous, weird I'm saying that, one of the most famous Latinos. It's so weird saying that because she's not even a real person. But everybody knows this girl's name. Everybody knows her theme song. Everybody knows her look and everything. It's just like, she is Dora the Explorer and everything.